We're going to start since some of you already came on time, and we're going to just start. This is a special class. The focus is how to use the tarot um, in times of change and how to actually works with unseen reality to make better choices, evaluation, assess situation and gain clarity in relationships, career, money, and beyond. Um, it's part of what I actually provide. Tarot Quest is a body of training to use the tarot in a practical manner. Um, this class will go in this order. Why the tarot as a tool? What is a little bit background, which is not enough discussed, which is a Kabbalistic structure of the tarot, the modern tarot that we are using. Hundreds of different decks are basically based on two major decks: the Coleman Smith wider deck, White Rider deck, and the other one is the Toth deck. Um, each on these two decks created a foundation for many other decks to be interpreted and created, and they're all based on some ancient knowledge that is sound in the Kabbalah and is also beyond that. Um, we're gonna look at some example of, especially in major arcana, in the time we have, and we're gonna have some time for questions and inquiries as well. Also, I'm gonna introduce what is the Tarot Quest, the practice, the training is about. But let's start in the beginning. I actually had background of doing readings for over 2 decades. I've been teaching tarot for about 15 years. Um, and I'm a student of Universal Kabbalah and as well as numerology and archetypal astrology. So any of the divination system, the benefits are understanding what is important in life. It creates an idea of actionable strategy, not based on circumstances, but based on vision or based on inspiration. Most of the time, we react to circumstances. Also, especially any divination, whether it's the tarot, astrology, numerology, is understanding what is real and what is unreal. And based on that vision and based on what is the unseen reality, which the tarot reveal, identifying important goals and milestones. Understanding the 20/80 ratio is true for anything. Most of the time, some people will say it's a 10 to 90% ratio. We focus on the reactive side of our consciousness, which is 80%, and the 20, or let's say the 10% is being most of the time ignored. What is important in the same mile equation, our reality is basically obstructed by our senses, by our lineage, by the physical circumstances. Most of our reality is based on what we perceived, what worked in the past, what didn't work in the past, and basically we bring the past to the present moment, and the future in our illusionary mind is basically thinking that by thinking forward and avoiding the past, we're bringing something new. The tarot or any meditation or divination process provides opportunities. It turns challenge into a possibility because underneath any challenge, there is a gift and opportunity. There's actually an opportunity in a challenge. And it's also provide us the ability to evaluate and assess social circles and interactions, choice making, and reading into what is the energetic component that we operate from. Let's start with the structure of the tree of life. Some of you know it, some of you don't. The structure of a tree of life is a structure that appeared in the 13th century in Europe and basically created 10 components or 10 stages for consciousness. And it starts from consciousness of unity in spirit, and then it's divided to opposites, and it comes back to unity of consciousness in the heart component, in the emanation of six, Tiferet, the sun. And then it splits again, and it goes into, again, the action that comes back into the area of unity versus duality in the ninth emanation, which is the moon. Now, the Tree of Life contains all the tarot 78 cards. It contains the passes, the 22 passes between the emanation of the Tree of Life, which correlates with the major arcana, and it's combined the value of 1 through 10 associated with the minor arcana, and it divided into 4 elements that are basically the 4 world of consciousness. The world of Atzilut, which means the world of fire, or the world of passion before it's materialized to ideas and thoughts and visions, the world of air, which is the area of creating a thought or creating an idea. It's a second level of consciousness, which is associated with vision, ideas, plans, writings, thoughts, words, associated with the element of air. Fire associated with the element of fire, which is the wands suite in the minor arcana. Air is associated with the element of air, which is swords. And water, which is the consciousness of the emotive consciousness, emotions, it's the desire that runs, that our thoughts create desires. And the earth element is our desires create actions, which is the material world associated with earth, associated with the coins or pentacles in the tarot. Between all these 10 emanations, there's 22 steps that are associated with the major arcana, associated with the Hebrew alphabet, which each of the cards hold. Now, we humans, we're a spiritual being in a physical form, and we live in the physical world. We live on the fourth world, which is the material world, associated with the 10th emanation of the tree of life. And it's basically what it suggests in the idea of consciousness or the tree of life or the tarot. We live in tenths of the reality existed in the universe. We judge everything based on circumstances, based on material or earthly experiences, and there are other layers that we can assess and evaluate our reality. Now, the tarot is a really quick entry to these other layers of reality, other levels of reality. So it's also in neuroscience, it said that we uses only 10% of our computing brain capacity unless we tap to other states, other places of intuition, other areas of consciousness that we bring a different sense of judgment or choice making that is not based on the material or physical experience. So this is one thing, and this is not actually something that is being explored or taught in the world of the tarot. So we have a seen reality and we have an unseen realities. So if we look at the tree of life, all the unseen realities is from in the world of fire, air, and water, they're unseen. The outcome of these unseen realities is in our actions and actual choices in life, in the earth element. So the tarot itself reveal an unseen reality, and there are layers in that reality. So, for instance, I'm bringing the example of the major arcana here. So if, for instance, the major arcana, the Lovers card is associated with whether it's in relationship or career or work relationship or even in the area of money, there is either a higher consciousness that bring opposite together to harmony, it's the number 6, or there's a correlation between the Lovers and the Devil card. The Devil card is associated with the aspect of duality, the aspect of being totally shackled by the material experience. So, and this is something we'll learn more deeply, how to use the 9 cycle of the major arcana to reveal that every card has different component. If you get the Devil card in the reading, you can know that underneath it there is a possibility of the Lovers, and vice versa. If you get the Lovers card in the reading, you can actually totally get into the component of the idea that if a connection, a love relationship is not ruled by higher values and consciousness or soul and soulment of the connection, it very easily will be ruled by greed, by material goods, by um, clinging to just the sensual experience of the relationship, and that will run out of style very quickly. And you will see that every aspect of this consciousness can change very quickly. So when it comes to purpose, career, or business, if we have these two cards, you can say, where is one's actions come from, or consciousness or awareness? Is it come from inspiration, or is it come from clinging to material experience or measure? So this is just a little bit more layered explanation, but we're not gonna go very easily. The lover consciousness can go into a devil type of consciousness. A different example is, and this is true to our time, and that's why I called some of these classes actually removing karma with the tarot. So our time is ruled by the Tower card. These times, we can see that there's still a lot of clinging to the past, to old consciousness, to patriarchy, to aspect of power and greed, and it can exist very, its existence is not going to last very long. So when you get the Tower card, for instance, in a reading, it's not all bad. It's a card that suggests it's time to let go of the old, or destruction of the old, or attachment for a sense of liberation. Underneath the Tower, there is the Chariot card. Numerically, the Tower is the number 16. And if you collapse 16 to a single digit number, it's a 7, which is the Chariot. And underneath the Tower, there is a Chariot. So destruction of the old, kind of ruining of the old, means that something new is about to grow and expand. And the Chariot is about moving ideas and plans forward after the field was leveled, basically, and bring things into a new consciousness or new surface. So this is really an opportunity to look at these times. Not everything that seems horrendous or challenging means that that's a lasting game. There is underneath it, there is something else that is being created. Underneath the Tower, there is moving ideas and plans forward. In Tarot Quest, the 10-week course, we're looking also at other symbols in each cards, like what are these little drops means in the reading. What is that about? It's so these little drops means there's new seeding. They're associated with, in the Tower card, associated with the letter Yod. So when we're using the tarot, there is an unseen story, and we translate it to different practical scenarios. the different practical scenarios are being orchestrated through different spreads. Do we pull one card? Do we pull two cards? Do we pull three cards? Do we pull a 12 card reading? They all have a different capacity to evaluate or to vision what is the unseen situation in a seen experience. Let's say somebody, any of you feel that they haven't been in a relationship for a long time. That's an experience. But what is the truth underneath that experience? It can be the thing that still holding to a past relationship that prevents us to go clear the deck and be open to a new thing to come in, or it can be something that is associated with being interested in too many relationship and not committing to a truth that will drive a fulfilling relationship. The different scenarios are being conducted in different spreads. There are different spreads for different purposes. And in Tarot Quest, we're looking at different components that can actually evaluate whether it's career, where it's money, where it's relationship, what can plot a good story that will provide us a different experience and different reality, and obviously a different future, real different future that is not based on the past experience, but it actually create a new possibility that was not conducted based on the past. So Joseph Campbell called the tarot the classic hero's or heroine's journey. There is a quest, there's a set of challenges, there's transformation, and there is a new discovery, and we start again with a bigger quest or bigger component to explore. You can say the hero journey are all around us. You see it especially in almost every fantasy or action movies. There are heroes, there are helpers, there are enemies, there are guardians, there are shapeshifters, tricksters. Like, for instance, the Fool card in the tarot is a trickster because it works with the aspect of illusion. The tarot provides that opportunity to create a new story. So it's also have a lot of different layers and components, letters in their secrets, numbers in their secrets, planets in their secrets. The zodiac and the planets are within the 22 major arcana cards, and they also trickle through the 4 elements in the minor arcana. The fire, air, and water, and earth, staves, swords, cups, and pentacles has their own wisdom, and some of them are associated with the zodiac in its elemental form. So here's the thing, if you're ready to join to a special journey, I would like to invite you to Tarot Quest. It starts on September 8th, and it's basically creating a spiritual or inspirational strategy for life with the tarot, learning how to understand all 78 cards, learning how to actually use the tree of life wisdom in the cards, learning how to create a new scenario and story, learning about color, symbols, planets. It's a 10-week condensed card, and as well learning how to do readings and use different spreads to your advantage. It's contained weekly journey, gaining intuitive capacity, finding your tarot voice, and create lasting change in using this apparatus in your life. It's scheduled for Mondays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Daytime, and each class is designed as a combination of knowledge and practice. And all classes are recorded, and all classes have handouts as well. So you're going to gain a little bit of a book for yourself that is a reference, unique reference book. And if you're ready to join, either send me your questions or look up information on my website, yourpurposework.com, or just sign in, join in. There is like a really good deal right now. Additional $100 off if you register in the next 3 days. And I really, if you are curious about the tarot, if you are a reader, either novice or even advanced, you will gain a whole other level of mastery and ability to actually use it for yourself and use it for others.